Welcome to our class today. You are going to learn important phrasal verbs for everyday conversations. Now, we're going to do this in a listen and repeat style. So you will shadow me to help you sound like a native because you will pronounce all the phrasal verbs and everything you learn just like a native. Now, you'll listen to me say it fast so you can hear how the words connect together, how it will sound in the real world. And then you'll listen slow and I'll explain the pronunciation changes. We'll talk about the meaning of the phrasal verbs and the grammar as well. And then you'll listen fast again and you can repeat after me. So, first, let's give us a category of socializing and small talk, something you can do every day. Now, here is the first phrase. Do you see the phrasal verb here? What's the phrasal verb and what's the meaning of the phrasal verb? So you can put that in the comments for every phrase as well. So notice in the socializing and small talk, these two lovely ladies are sitting on a park bench and one of them has a yoga mat. So we can imagine this person asked her, "When did you take up yoga?" When did you take up yoga? So what's the phrasal verb? My smart students have it here. Oslam has it. Not? Oh, no, not in this case. So phrasal verbs generally have multiple meanings. And the meaning of the phrasal verb depends on context. So in this context, and the context of the sentence, take up does not mean take up space, although that is a meaning of the phrasal verb take up. But I see the right answer here as well. Alexander got it, which is Anissa got it as well. So when you take something up, in this case, yoga, so this is a separable phrasal verb. You can say take yoga up, take up yoga. This means you start an activity, but you don't just do it once. You do it as part of your regular routine. So if you say, I took up guitar, it doesn't mean you just played it one time for fun. It means you're practicing it, you're learning it as part of your regular routine. Of course, you can quit in the future, but that's what it means. Okay, so now I'll say this slow and you can listen to those pronunciation changes. When did you take up yoga? When did you? So notice that did you hear that j sound. When did you? Did you? Repeat after me. Did you take up? So I'm going to put that K sound on up and it will sound like cup, cup. Take up, take up. Repeat after me. Take up, take up. Yoga, yoga. Does anyone practice yoga here? I do, once a week at least. Okay, and Etsy said, I took up English classes last year. Exactly. So it's part of your regular routine. Everyone, leave a comment using take up as well. Share something that you've recently taken up. Okay, how about this one? What's the phrasal verb? What does it mean? Try leaving in an example sentence even before I explain it. I'll say it fast. He always brings up politics at work. So the phrasal verb is, what do you think? He always brings up politics at work. The phrasal verb is bring up. Bring up. And yes, Adila got it. And you're right, Majid, to speak about. So when you bring something up, in this case, politics. So again, we have a separable phrasal verb. He always brings politics up. He always brings up politics. You start talking about a topic. In this case, the topic is politics. So politics represents the field, the area as a whole. Okay. So now I'll say it slow. And notice the grammar naturally because we have he. Now always is our keyword for the present simple, and then our verb is in the present simple, and of course because the subject is he, you add that s. So I want you to notice the grammar and learn the grammar naturally and learn these additional words as well, like you use at work. At is the preposition here. Okay, he always brings up politics at work. He always. We can have a little bit of a Y sound to connect. He always, he always, he always. Repeat after me. He always brings up. So we brings up. You can have a little bit of a Z sound before up to help you connect. Brings up, brings up, brings up, brings up. Repeat after me. Brings up. Politics at work. Great question, George. It's neutral, so you don't have to use it in a negative. This, honestly, I don't know if this sentence is positive or negative. Maybe it's a positive thing that he brings up politics at work. Generally, politics is a subject you don't discuss in certain situations. It can result in a lot of conflict and arguments, strong opinions. So it could be a negative, but we don't really know. So it's neutral. You can use it in both positive or negative. Okay, Anissa, my friend always brings up her relationship issues. Exactly. Excellent sentence. Great verb conjugation, great use of the keyword always as well. And this could be positive or negative. Who knows? It really depends on how you deliver it with your tone. Oh, he always brings up politics at work. He always brings up politics at work. It's a really positive thing. It really just depends on how you deliver it or the context as well. All right. Yeah. And absolutely think about different verb conjugations. Llama gave us a sentence in the past simple. I brought up Jennifer's channel when I talked with my friend about the best way to learn English. Thank you so much, Yama. That is so sweet of you. I appreciate that. An excellent sentence structure and verb conjugation. You are not late, Stefania. Welcome, welcome. We are just getting started. All right. Welcome, welcome, Carol, as well. Ooh, from Toronto. My husband just left for Toronto today. He says the weather is very nice. All right, everyone. Our next one. What's the phrasal verb? What does it mean? Use an example sentence as well. I'll say it fast. She really got along with my cousin. She really got along. So notice that got along. We have T between two vowel sounds. So I'm going to connect those together with a soft D, and it will sound like got along, delong, delong, delong. Repeat after me. Delong, got along, got along. That way, you don't have to put a pause between them. She really got along with my cousin. So notice that TH on with my. So make sure you form that full TH before you go to the M. And yes, Mirtzana got it. Fahim got it. Adila got it. Exactly. Yeah, this is a great summary. They like each other for sure. For sure. It's not exactly the same as agree with. I mean, if you disagree with someone on every topic, it's probably less likely you'll get along with that person, that you'll like each other, as Paslak said, but it's not the same as agree with. You can get along with someone and not agree with them. Okay. So to get along with, so notice when you include the someone after, you need the preposition with. But if you don't include the someone after, you could say, we got along. You don't have to say with each other. You could just say, oh, yeah, we got along. We got along. They got along. You can say with each other, but you don't have to, or with someone. But if you mention the someone, my cousin, you must use the additional preposition with. And this means to have a good relationship with. And again, like Paslak said, simply they like each other. They have a good relationship with each other. Yeah, exactly, Hidaki. Okay. Stefania, I really got along with my dad. He passed away almost 5 years ago. I'm sorry for your loss. It's never easy, even after 5 years, but excellent sentence and great job conjugating that in the past simple. And notice here really intensifies it. She really got along. She didn't get along. That's how you can make it negative. She didn't get along with my cousin because they didn't agree on anything. So that could be the reason why. Okay, so now I'll say it fast. And you can open your mouth and repeat after me. She really got along with my cousin. All right, our next sentence with a phrasal verb. What's the phrasal verb? What does it mean? I'll say it fast. You'll never guess who I ran into today. I'll say it again. You'll never guess who I ran into today. What's the phrasal verb here? You'll never guess who I ran into today. Majid got it, the meaning of it, and Dorothy identified the phrasal verb. Woohoo, woohoo, great job. Yes, Etsy, you got it. You got it. Okay. So to run into someone. Now, in this case, the someone is not specified because it's a question. You'll never guess who I ran into today. So, what would be the question if someone wanted to ask the person this question? What would that be? Do you know? Now, this happens a lot. So you meet someone, you see someone. Now, by chance means you weren't expecting to see that person. You didn't schedule a meeting. So if you're at the grocery store and you see your boss and you did not schedule a time and your boss did not say, I will be at the grocery store tonight, and you say, oh, so will I, that never happened, then you can say, I ran into my boss at the grocery store. Okay. So I'll say it slow. Listen to that pronunciation changes. You'll never guess who I ran into today. So not much changing here because not a lot is linking. Let's review this contraction. You will, you'll. Notice how unstressed it sounds like. You'll never guess. You'll never guess. So we use this when we want to add some anticipation to the answer. Because if I say to you, you'll never guess what I bought at the store, you'll want to know, what did you buy? What did you buy? So it creates some suspense. It creates some anticipation. You'll never guess what lesson I've prepared for you. What lesson, Jennifer? What did you prepare? Okay. So that's a great expression you can add to your vocabulary as well. Now, Etsy said, I ran into my elementary school's best friend. Yes, very nice. Very nicely done. I ran into my best friend at university. Exactly. Very nice. All right, everyone. And yes, this was the question. Who did you run into today? You don't say today morning. Today morning is this morning. So today morning is not natural. It's not what a native speaker would say. This morning or simply today. You can say today, this morning, or you could say at and then the time at 8 a.m., for example. But those would be your options. Yeah, exactly. Who did you run into? Who did you run into today? All right. That is exactly the question. And the answer could be I ran into my ex boyfriend today. Oh no, definitely, probably someone you don't want to run into, but maybe you do. Okay. So notice the conjugations run, ran, run. All right. Okay. Now, make sure you like this lesson so I know you're enjoying it. I know you're getting value from it. And I know you want me to make more lessons just like this. And put yes, yes, yes as well. Put yes, yes, yes in the comments just so I know you're engaged, you're participating, you're having fun. Do that so I know who my best students are. All the students that put yes, 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 you're my best students because you're engaged, you're participating. Sahar, one of my best students, Hidaki, Alexander, Dorothy, AK, Stefania, Adila, woohoo. Sorry, everyone. I can't name you all, but I love you all, Liz. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. And also, everyone, as always, I have this free speaking guide. I get asked the same questions over and over again. So I put my best advice in this free guide so I don't have to give everyone the same advice over and over again. I share 6 steps on how to speak English fluently and confidently. This is absolutely what you must do to get started. And to get results fast, you can download this for free from my website. Just go to this link right here, jforestenglish.com/free guide. Okay, now let's keep going with phrasal verbs. Now, let's talk about at a cafe, where I will be later on today, and maybe you will as well. How about this? So you go to order something and it seems like you want a donut, a chocolate donut. And then they reply back and say, sorry, we sold out of chocolate donuts. Sorry, we sold out of chocolate donuts. What's the phrasal verb here? Remember, we're identifying phrasal verbs. I want you to guess their meaning, and then you can also leave an example sentence as well. Ah, okay. I see some interesting answers. Sold out of, sold out, sold out. All right, all right. Exactly, Anissa. Exactly. Okay. Now, that's why I said Anissa, because she conjugated it correctly. So to sell out of, and then the past simple of sell is sold. We sold out of chocolate donuts. So that means you have no more of something to sell. So Hidaki, and I think I saw some other students mention this as well. Yes, you can absolutely use to run out of, but the only difference is that sell out of is specifically something that you sell. Obviously, that's the word in there, right? So at home, you would say, oh no, we ran out of milk. You wouldn't say we sold out of milk because you don't sell your milk at home. Okay. So, yes, the cafe could say we ran out of donuts to mean we have 0 donuts left. Simply using sold out of means we have 0 donuts left. So, we cannot sell you any donuts. That's the only difference. Okay. So, you will hear this a lot at stores. Now, I'll say it slow and then fast, and you can focus on my pronunciation and repeat after me. Sorry. Now, notice this comma here. This tells you to pause. Okay. So, even in fast spoken English, sorry, we sold out of. I'm still going to put a little pause there. Sorry, we sold out of. Now, sold out of can sound like sold outa. outa. So out of can combine together and sound like outa, outa. I thought so, Anissa. Thanks for letting me know. We sold outa chocolate donuts. Chocolate donuts. So notice that pronunciation of chocolate, chocolate, clit. Okay, that middle O is not pronounced. Chocolate, chocolate. We sold out of chocolate donuts. Now I'll say it fast. Sorry, we sold out of chocolate donuts. All right, everyone. Alexander, yes, yes, it's an inseparable phrasal verb. And in this case, it's to sell out of something. Okay, so we sold out of chocolate donuts. So, yes, excellent observation, Alexander. I'm really glad you're thinking about that. Yeah, and great job practicing, Fahim. Sorry, we sold out of coffee. We sold out of coffee. Very nice. Llama, I hate when shops sell out of trendy clothes. Yeah, I hate when, well, you conjugated it correctly, but if you have shop, you would need an article. I hate when this shop sells out of trendy clothes. Otherwise, you can do shops with the S because then it means any shop. So it's more inclusive. I hate when shops, and then you would use sell because it's they. I hate when shops sell out of trendy clothes. Exactly, exactly. Especially a shop or store might have a big sale. And then because of that, they can sell out and they can sell out very quickly if there is a big sale. And in this case, it sounds like chocolate donuts are just really popular. Okay. And then the person replies, they find out that there are no chocolate donuts left because they sold out. Okay. So the person can reply and say, I should cut back on sugar anyway. I should cut back on sugar anyway. What's the phrasal verbs? Phrasal verb, only one, singular. And what does it mean? And Anissa, yes, most shops sold out of toilet paper during COVID. During COVID. So that's what I would say, during COVID. Yes, exactly. All right. To cut back on something. Woohoo. Very nice. Yeah, cut back on Azam. And yes, Natalia, reduce the consumption. Consumption is the word that you're looking for. Consumption. Okay, because you consume. So consumption is the noun and consume is the verb. To cut back on something, yeah, you reduce the amount of something. And you're right. Usually the amount that you consume, and usually it's because it's not good for you. Most people don't say, I need to cut back on eating carrots or salad for lunch. It's possible, but most people say, I need to cut back on donuts, on chips, on hamburgers, on pizza, things like that. All right. I'll say it slow so you can hear those pronunciation changes. I should cut back on sugar anyway. I should cut back on. So, same thing we saw before with take up, back on, back on, back on. Okay? That's what it sounds like. Back on, back on, back on. I should cut back on. And notice that pronunciation of should, should, should. I should cut back on sugar anyway. So this use of anyway is used to say, not a big deal. I'm not upset. It's used to reference the fact that they're sold out of donuts. And should is our modal verb. So we have modal plus base verb. Now, should is used to say, to give advice. But this person is giving advice to themselves. I should cut back on sugar. I should study more. I should clean my room first thing in the morning. Whatever it might be. And yes, exactly, Marina. People also use beverages such as beer. I should cut back on beer. Must sounds like is more of an obligation. For example, a doctor might say to you, you must cut back on beer or your health will suffer. But more so in giving this to yourself, should is the more natural choice. Must sounds like a obligation from an authority figure or something like that. Okay. Excellent job, everyone. And Llama, yes, taking up sports. Yeah, like taking up yoga, for example. So, taking up sports won't benefit you without cutting back on food. Yeah, exactly. And maybe I would add without cutting back on unhealthy food or junk food, as another student said. Yeah, very nicely done. Combining those two phrasal verbs together. Bravo, bravo. Well done. Okay. I should cut back on work. Well, many people work too much. So, for sure, you could say this to yourself, or your husband, your wife, or a friend might advise you to cut back on work. If you're working 80 hours a week, you're not sleeping, you're not spending time with your family, you're stressed out. For sure, for sure. Okay. How about this one? So remember our context, we sold out of donuts. The person's not upset. I should cut back on sugar anyway. And then the cafe could say this. What's the phrasal verb? What does it mean? Give an example. Okay. I'll say it fast. We're trying out a new sugar-free cookie recipe. We're trying out a new sugar-free cookie recipe. Ah, yes, to try out, to try out. Very smart, everyone. Patricia, you got it. Hello, hello, EE. Yeah, trying out. That's the verb conjugation. Exactly. Fahim, yes. Test. Yes, to test. Yes, exactly, Natalia. See how it works. Exactly. Yes, try out. Okay, so to try something out, to try out, this means to use or test something to see if it works well or to see how it works. You could say that as well, to see how it works, exactly like Natalia said. Yeah, very nicely very nicely done, everyone. You got that phrasal verb. Notice it's conjugated in the present continuous because they're doing this now. So, right now, we're trying out a new sugar free cookie recipe. Now, they're testing it. Now, to see if it works or how it works, will it taste good? Will it taste terrible? Well, let's try it out. Let's try it out. So when you use the pronoun for separable phrasal verbs, it must come between the verb and the preposition. Will this taste good? I don't know. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. How else will you know if a recipe is good or not? You must try it out. You must try it out. Try it out. Now, the recipe has a lot of adjectives. It's a new recipe. It's a sugar free recipe, which means it has no sugar. And it's a cookie recipe, not a muffin recipe, not a cake recipe, a cookie recipe. A new sugar free cookie recipe. Woo, that's a mouthful. And notice the pronunciation of recipe, 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 P. So a long E at the end. We are trying out a new method to learn languages faster. Absolutely. That's an excellent, excellent example. Very nicely said. Okay. After the class, we are going to try all the phrasal verbs out. Yeah, to be honest, maybe Natalia, you can, in the sense of to test it, but there has to be some element of testing. So test it to see if it works well. So I'll try out these expressions with my friends and see if they understand them. See if it's appropriate for the context. Okay. So there has to be, it's not just use the phrasal verbs, it's use them to see if it's successful. Okay. All right, everyone. What about you? Would you want to try out a new sugar-free cookie recipe? Could work out. Who knows? All right. So, how about this one? So, maybe the restaurant tried out the new sugar-free cookie recipe, someone ordered it, and then the server says, "You only picked out your cookie. You don't like it? You don't like it? You only picked out your cookie. You don't like it?" Okay, I'll say it slowly. You only. So notice a little bit of a y sound. You only picked that. So this D, this ED on picked is a soft T. Picked, picked that. So you can transfer the sound a little bit. So it sounds like picked that, picked that, picked that, picked that, picked at your cookie. You only picked at your cookie. You don't like it? You don't like it? So notice the last sentence is actually a statement, but native speakers casually, conversationally, especially in spoken English, text messages, quick emails, will use statements, but just add a question. So to use a rising intonation to make it sound like a question, because the question would be what? So this is actually a statement. You don't like it. That's a statement. But what would the question grammatically, if you were using the standard sentence structure, what would the grammar be? But notice what I'm doing is notice how I say this in spoken English. You don't like it? You don't like it? So it is my intonation, the fact I have a rising intonation and just how I deliver it that the person understands that I'm not saying this as a statement, I'm saying it as a question. Now, it's more of a I'm predicting that you don't like it. So I'm predicting this is true, but I'm adding the intonation to make it sound more like a question. Okay, so let's get to this phrasal verb. Maybe this isn't the most common phrasal verb, but I see some students have it. Aziz, Anissa has it, to pick at something. Yeah, to taste it, to nibble it, Maria. Yeah, you can think of it like that. So if you only pick at your food, we use this for food, then it means you only eat a small amount. Now, this could be for many different reasons. Maybe you're not hungry. Okay. Maybe you have a stomach ache. Maybe you don't like it. So it could be because you don't like it, but it could also be because you're not hungry. So it doesn't always have a negative vibe, but it can absolutely be because you don't like it. Okay. So the question, don't you like it? That's not the standard question in English, okay? Because you're using a negative. So remember, the question would be to get a yes or no. I don't think I've seen the question here. So don't you like it isn't the standard way to ask a question in English. The standard question would be, do you like it? Do you like it? And then they would say, yes, I like it, or no, I don't like it. So I can ask, you only picked out your cookie. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like your cookie? You only picked at it. Okay, but this is, again, it's a statement turning into a question by using our intonation. So Hidaki got it, George got it. Exactly, exactly. Okay, excellent job, everyone. Now, let's move on and talk about meetings and appointments and learn more phrasal verbs. So, I'll say this fast. You can identify the phrasal verb and the meaning of a phrasal verb. So, if you were to replace it with another verb, what would that be? Can we set up a meeting for next week? Can we set up a meeting for next week? Can we set up? So a native speaker is going to take this T and turn it into a soft D because it's between two vowels, but it's going to sound like set up, dup, dup, set up, set up. Repeat after me, set up. Can we set up? So notice that ah is also going to join and it's going to sound like set up. So when my mouth closes for that P with the set up, then I will open my mouth and I will say pa. So I'll pronounce the P and A together. Can we set up a meeting for next week? So nothing else is changing, really, just that set up a. Repeat after me. Set up a. It's fun to say. Set up a. Sounds like a rhythm or something. Okay, yes, our phrasal verb is set up. Set up. I was focused on this one when I said that. So Anissa, you would just say set. Don't forget to set the alarm. You don't need to say set up. Just set the alarm. Set the alarm. And yes, Sahar, it means to make an appointment. So set up. Set up to schedule, to schedule a meeting or an appointment. Yep, you got it, Iman. Set up, arrange. Yes, you can think of it as arrange. Absolutely. Wad, you got it as well. Okay. So set up, to schedule, or arrange. That's an easy one. So you can set up a meeting. You can set up an appointment as well. All right. So now I'll say it fast and repeat after me and make sure you get that set up, set up, set up, set up. Can we set up a meeting for next week? And notice this is your standard question form and it has the rising intonation because it's a yes, no question. Yes, we can. No, sorry, we can't. I'm traveling next week. How about we set it up for the week after? Set it up. The meeting, set it up for the week after. Okay. Oh, right, everyone. How about this one? I'll say it fast. You can identify the phrasal verb. What does it mean? Leave an example as well. Please follow up with us next week. Please follow up with us next week. Please follow up with us next week. Okay, I'll say it slow. Please follow up. So notice I use that W to just glide to the up. Follow up. Now, there's no linking with this P and W because we link the P and vowel sound. So when we had this set up, so I link that A with the up, but here I don't because it's a consonant. So there's no linking. Please follow up, but I can hold out that W. Follow up, follow up, follow up with us. So you might hear a little bit of a TH holding over to the with us, thus, thus. So notice that unvoiced TH. You put your tongue between your teeth and you push out the air. That is the unvoiced TH. Thus. So repeat after me. Thus, thus, us, with us. So with us, with us. But then remember, you have to say it like it's one sound. With us, with us, with us. Next week, next week, next week. Okay, follow up, be continued next week. Yes, that's the definitely the right meaning there. Okay, follow up, it's not the same as catch up. They're different phrasal verbs. To follow up with, exactly. Okay. Follow up, yeah, contact us. Contact, but there's an important word that needs to be added, okay? I would say contact again, because you can only follow up with someone if you've had a previous conversation or contact and you're continuing that conversation, that topic again in the future, okay? So to follow up with someone, and if you specify the topic, it would be on a topic. You can also use the phrasal verb about a topic. So I'm following up on the job interview. I'm following up about the job interview. You can use both of them. Now, remember, it's to continue a previous conversation. So if I say, "Hi, Marie, I'm just following up with you on the job interview," it means I previously talked to Marie about the job interview. If that did not happen, you cannot use follow up. If Marie and I previously talked, but it was about yoga and not a job interview, I cannot say, "I'm following up with you on the job interview." It must be that Marie and I talked about the job interview previously. Okay. So I hear a lot of students try to use this phrasal verb, but they do not use it correctly because there wasn't a previous conversation on that exact topic. And this is one of the most common phrasal verbs. I use it every single day. Is the most common in a business context, but I absolutely follow up with my friends on topics we previously discussed. But it is the number one business phrasal verb that native speakers use every single day. So make sure you practice this and get the meaning right. So you can leave some example sentences and I will review them. But the example sentence has to imply that you had a previous conversation on that topic. So let's say you go to the doctor and they say, and you have some tests, so some blood tests, and they say as you're leaving, they say, "Please follow up with us next week on your test results." So you talked with your doctor now about the tests, they take your blood, they'll analyze it, and then next week you should contact the doctor again to talk about your blood. Okay. But this could also be a business context. So medical would be very common, business would be very common, friendship, family can also be common. All right. Let's do this one, which has a similar meaning, but not the same. Okay. Have you checked in with the client yet? Have you checked in with the client yet? What's the phrasal verb? Now, I will say it slowly and you can listen to those pronunciation changes. Have you checked in? So checked, this ed is pronounced as t, checked, 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 checked. Now, because we have in, it can sound like checked in. So we'll have a very soft T sound, and it might sound like a very soft tin, tin. Have you checked in? Have you checked in with the client yet? Have you checked in with the client yet? Have you checked in with the client yet? Okay. Now, yes, check in does mean register. So this could absolutely mean, and yeah, the context of this could absolutely mean register with the client. That could be correct. That could be correct because you check in at a hotel, for example. But it can mean that. The way I wrote this is a different meaning. It means to contact someone to make sure there are no problems. Okay. So if I'm working on a project, I might say, I'll check in with the client this afternoon. So I will talk to the client and see if they're having any problems with the project or if they need anything, if there's been any changes, if they have any information they want to share with me. So check in with someone. And again, you can use on or about something. So have you checked in with the client on the project yet or about the project yet? So again, just contact the client, but for the purpose of making sure there are no issues. Okay, I'll say it fast again. Have you checked in with the client yet? No, not yet. I'll do it this afternoon. Okay. Yeah, Anissa, I got to check in with my boss. Yeah, so you'll contact your boss to let your boss know that there are no problems, or your boss will let you know that there are no problems, or to update each other. Exactly. Very nice. Yeah, to make sure everything is settled, everything is running smoothly. Absolutely. How about this one? What's the phrasal verb and what does it mean? I blocked off an hour for our meeting. I'll say it slowly. I blocked off. So, what do you hear? What is this? What is the pronunciation of this ED? I'll say it again. I blocked off. And where's the linking? So, the ED is pronounced as a soft T. I blocked. I blocked off. And then I just transfer that T to the off. I blocked off. I blocked off. I blocked off an hour. So notice the word hour, the H is not pronounced. This is not a rule in English. This is simply for this word. An hour. An hour. That's why it's an, because an is used with vowel sounds, not spelling, sounds. An hour. An hour. I blocked off an hour for our meeting. Okay, so what does block off mean? Yes, it means to reserve a time. So this person reserved 1 hour for the meeting. So if you have a calendar and you block off an hour, it's like that hour is not available for anyone else to book in your calendar, including yourself. So when you see your calendar, that slot is filled. Make a reservation is the word that we use for dinners, for meals, for restaurants, for hotels. So you would just say to reserve time in one's schedule or calendar. Okay, so to reserve time in your schedule is how I defined it. All right. Yeah, Sahar, this is an excellent example. And hopefully, all of you are doing this as well. I blocked off my mornings to speak in English. So you would use the infinitive. I blocked off my mornings to speak in English, so to do something, or you could use for plus noun. I blocked off my mornings for English practice time, for example. So for something, for our meeting, or infinitive. I blocked off an hour to meet with you, to discuss the report. All right. Okay. Well, we are almost out of time, so we will save this category for a future time. So everyone, we have a few minutes left, so if you have any questions or if you want to practice any of these phrasal verbs, I'll just stay for a couple extra minutes to answer any questions or for you to practice as well. So yes, to block off, reserve time. So what about you? Do you block off any time in your calendar to practice English? For English practice. So you can use to practice English or for English practice. And yeah, absolutely. I saw another student ask this question, I think, as well. Uh, yeah, you can absolutely say, I set aside time. So to set aside time also means to reserve time, to reserve time. So I blocked off an hour, I set aside an hour for our meeting. They're absolutely the same. And this happens a lot with regular verbs and with phrasal verbs. There's always multiple ways to say the same thing in English. And another student gave an example. Let's see. Yeah, this one. So Fahim said the police blocked off the street because of the wreck. Because of the wreck. Okay, now that's true. But in this context, so when you learn phrasal verbs, they have many different meanings, but you have to look at the context. So in this case, to block off means to create a barrier so someone cannot pass. I guess in a way you can think of it as the same thing because you're creating a barrier in your schedule so someone else cannot schedule time. So in a way, I guess they are similar, but in this case, block off has somewhat of a different meaning, or at least the context you would use it would be quite different. But you can absolutely block off a street or block off an entryway, for example. So that's very common as well. Oh, yeah, you can block off time to go to the gym. She blocked off 2 hours for the gym. Yes, because you have for and then something. So you can say she blocked off 2 hours to go to the gym or to work out, to exercise, or you can use for something for the gym. And Hidaki said, I block off an hour for speaking in English. Yes, exactly. Okay. Anissa, combining some phrasal verbs. Shops sold out of toilet paper during COVID, so I had to block off some time to go outside of town to buy it. Yeah. I would just say to go out of town, to go out of town, to go out of town. I wouldn't say outside of town or the town, to go out of town, to go out of town, to go out of town to buy it. Exactly. Exactly. I have to block off some time this week to file my taxes because April 30th is the deadline to file taxes in Canada. And I am not looking forward to that. But I blocked off Thursday morning to file taxes. Oh, I can't wait till that's done. Okay. In Glenda said, I block off an hour for this class every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yellow, yellow. So it's the same y sound as in yell, yell, yellow. But when you say yell, like yell, just when you say the L, go low, yellow. Because you need to hear the L on low as well. So you need the L on both sides of the word. Yellow, 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 yellow. Hopefully that helped. All right. I blocked off an hour for shopping in the morning. Exactly. You can absolutely say that. Very nicely done. Yeah. Yellow. All right. How can you use the present perfect continuous? Oh, well, that's for an action that started in the past and continues until now. So you can say, I've been studying since this morning or for 2 hours. So the action started in the past and it continues until now, but it also doesn't end right now. It also continues into the future, and we don't really know when it will end. The focus is on the fact that it started in the past and it's been continuing. And you use since for a starting point in time and then for a duration of time. All right, everyone. I saw someone use block and blocked. Well, block is just the infinitive form. So to block off, or it could be the present simple with they and other ones as well. They always block off the afternoon to brainstorm, for example. Okay, blocked with the ed is the past simple. Can you teach us about taxes? Well, I can teach you some vocabulary, which I did in a lesson last week. I posted a lesson on the economy. So you can go to my channel, my YouTube channel, and review that lesson. It's not specific on taxes, but there's a lot of useful words that you can use for taxes, the economy, for example. But to be honest, I don't really want to talk about taxes too much. Not right now, at least. Okay. All right, everyone. Awesome job. I'll just answer one last question and then I am out of here. Shovel. Shovel. Vol. So for the V, you have to put your teeth there. Vol. Vol. Oh, so it ends on the dark L. Ol, vol, vol, shovel. Shovel, 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 shovel. All right, practice that, practice that. Bye, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. You're very welcome. Make sure you also get this free speaking guide. I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can download it from my website. And also let me know you like this lesson. Put yes, yes, yes. Subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Like the lesson as well. And if you guys want, I can always reserve a few minutes at the end to answer your questions. So if you want me to do that, I can start making sure I reserve 5 or 10 minutes at the end for question time. So if you want that, put I don't know, put something else like question time, Q&A, something, so I know that you want me to answer questions at the end. And Faustina likes the lesson. Woohoo! Sahar, Stefania, Carol, Dorothy, AK, woohoo. Well, of course I have a WhatsApp number, but I'm not going to share my number with people. That's weird. I'm so glad you enjoyed this session. Woohoo! Mertzana, awesome. You're very welcome. Awesome. All right. Iman wants some question time at the end. Yes. So if you want some question time, just say question time, Q&A, something that I know you want that. And then I'll start doing that as well. Yeah. Can you block off 10 minutes to answer questions at the end? All right, everyone. I will see all of you later. Bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.